She said love wasn't enough. Okay. I should have gotten up beforehand, and I thought maybe I'd take some pictures. I've got some still shots. I'll put this all together and show you what I got. I got in two pieces of G1 Mirage. It was the top half to one and the bottom half to the other. What I found was with the bottom half, I got the. I'm sorry, no, with the top half that I got. Good Lord. It had the waist had been glued on to the top piece, and then I also got a another bottom and waist. So I had two waists. One was attached to the top, one was attached to the bottom. Greg from Greg Stahl, by the way. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate the trade. So what I've done is I followed Toy Ploy in taking apart the waist. The one that came with the top with the glue. I've taken it off, set it aside, clipped off the excess pieces. Somebody had done as I did when I was a kid. I found something to plug it in and just kind of super glued my Mirage so I could play with it. And so they had them super glued. And I have scraped off the peg and the portion they had. I've taken a drill bit. This one's a little bit too small, so I've been working on it, trying to get another hole there. I took the bottom apart. I placed in a piece of Lego to have a post. The bottom side is larger, so it stays in place. That will not move. However, this piece of Lego, oh Lord, that will go into the top when I've finished making the hole big enough by kind of boring it out, and then I'll glue this into the top side, and it will fit down snugly on top of that and be able to spin. Now, unfortunately, if I were to just pull it apart, I could pretty easily separate the two parts, but I won't be playing that rough with it anymore. But it will stay secure and snugly on there in a spinning action so it can be transformed. But, you know, it's not a bad deal, not a bad fix. So I'm going to do some editing. I'm going to stop it here and bore on this for a while until this plugs into that hole. And I'll glue that and let that sit for a while. Might come back and put it together for you, but you get the gist of it. I'll take some more stills and edit this all together. And it'll be, oh, this. And it'll be like a special effect or something. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Okay, guys, this is part dose to my Mirage video. Wait, I think we left off with magic before, so I guess there's that. Speaking of magic, here is Mirage. I've added another coat of chrome to his engine plate, knee pads, and his spoilers. So here's the thing about Mirage. You know, being finished and all, there's still the ability to pull him in half because I've replaced that center pin with some Legos via Toy Ploy. However, this is less likely to just snap off, especially since he'll be sitting on a shelf. I won't be playing with him as I did when I was a kid. However, um, yeah, he'll be a center. There's a special place in my heart for Mirage. Let me tell you a little story. When I was in, I guess, second grade, summer of, I went to swim camp. My grandparents took me to learn how to swim. A lot of the kids, the advanced kids, were diving off the high dive, and they were trying to get me to muster the courage to do the same thing. I don't know if you've heard me so far. I've been speaking from way over there. um, so, swim camp, summer, after my second grade year, I guess. Um, they were trying. My grandparents were trying to bribe me onto the high dive, and what got me was, "We'll get you a transformer." I don't recall having any of the mini transformers. I remember I had a bunch of GoBots, and all of a sudden, I recall having some of the transformers, a few of the mini bots, but the first robot I remember getting was Mirage, and so there's just a special place in my heart for Mirage. And then as a character, I learned he was kind of the most identifiable, and that he really didn't want to be a part of this conflict, and I was a very peaceful kid. Was not a fan of racing. I didn't care anything for sports cars, race cars. It was a matter of very character-driven things. So another thing about my Mirage is that, like many, we've come to find is that center pin. Good Lord, that center pin was very fragile and broke on most, and I had glued mine together. And when I first got this, Craig Stahl, thank you, by the way. I got a great deal with Craig. Uh, I got two halves. I got the half that had the waist, and I'm used to doing these videos with the OBS again. I got that half. It had just the regular sized hole where the pin would have fit in. It was perfectly fine, aside from some rubbing wear to the spoiler and engine. That guy was good. And then I got the upper half, and with it was another waist, and that waist was glued on. I take that off, and you can still see some of the super glue or whatever it was they had used. There was a bit of a node sticking out there. However it was they tried to fix it, failed. So I sanded that down. I took a drill bit, and by hand I drilled out that hole so it would fit that particular, because I wasn't about to use my drill and just tear it up. So my fingers are a bit rough and calloused today from working with that drill bit. It's going like this and kind of taking some skin off and crafting that to fit the Lego bit that I, by a toy ploy, I went and rated my daughter's. Well, I didn't rate it. I asked permission, and she was more than helpful. So thank you to her. She allowed me to have a few parts. And so I collected some of these bits and utilized them to create the. I took this waist apart and just put that bit in there. It's snug, but there's a larger bit at the bottom, so this is not coming out. That's not going anywhere. And then utilize that end, and that's definitely a larger ring that's not going to allow that to fall out. And so there's just a matter of him being able to disconnect into two parts, but that still clamps into a snug fit. And it still allows him to transform. He has full range of motion. Going to be very daring and just kind of dangle and look. It's not slipping out. It's probably about as rough as I'll get with him. And voila. Um, I enjoy I enjoy working on these guys, and it gives me that satisfaction that I may not have been able to properly fix my Mirage as a kid. Like I said, I just glued them together, and he couldn't transform anymore. But I still had the character of Mirage to use as an action figure. Um, and that's the thing about Transformers and me and my love for them, is that it's not about their ability to transform as much as it's, just like a Star Wars action figure. He doesn't have to do anything remarkable except represent that character for role play. As a kid, I did most of my uh, role play with the Transformers. A little bit of GI Joe, but in any case, I have a connection, a physical connection to this guy now that I put my, I won't say blood, sweat, and tears, but I put some effort into crafting him. He's very special to me. I enjoy knowing that somebody else had tried to fix him at some point, so he has love from. Well, actually, he was two different figures because the bottom half was a figure and the top half was a figure. So there's these two other kids out there that may have loved this action figure, and here it comes to me, and I've melded these guys together and made them one. So there's just something very unique and special about that to me. And I may not have my original childhood Mirage back, but, well, this is the next best thing. So I'm in the market for some missile launchers, some shoulder missile launchers, the missiles, or at least one missile, and then his rifle, and I'll have pretty much complete Mirage. I'm considering the repro stickers, but they don't look too bad. They're a little off kilter. But again, that's some kid put it on there, and he did the best he could, and makes him unique the way it is. I like that aspect. It's artistic. It's flair. So that's it from me and my toy repair. Thank you, Craig. I've got some Blitzwing coming from Craig later on. We'll get another deal, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to replace the turret at some point and put all that together. And that's it for now. I should start naming these toy fixing segments. I've done quite a few now. Small. That's probably the most in-depth restoration that I've ever done. Up there with toy polloi and retro blasting levels of taking something apart and replacing parts. I hope you've enjoyed this and the stills and everything else. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.